Here we go with the Kia Knicks postgame. What a win for the Knicks at the Pacers as they win in Indianapolis. Final count 106-102. The defense, key. Domantas Sabonis averages over 22 a game, scored only 13 tonight. Julius Randle may not have done a lot in terms of scoring, scored only 12, but his defense, big here down the stretch. The Knicks defense, in fact, in the final quarter, the difference. Randle and the Knicks win it 106-102. What a win. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito along with Alan Hahn. Wally Zerbiak joins us from his home studio. Wally, in years past, we've seen the Knicks have to do it down the stretch of games offensively. Tonight, the defense led to easy buckets in transition, and that was the difference in the outcome.
Yeah, and this is one of the hottest teams in the league, a team that shoots 51% from the field, and the Knicks held them to 40% shooting and tried to defend that three-point line, although they gave up 19 for 50, which is respectable from the three-point line. I just commented on it at the start of the fourth quarter. I was like, this is a very well-coached Knicks team. Mm-hmm. And guys, let me tell you, it's not easy to do with a short training camp, with a brand new coaching staff, a new head coach, and a lot of new faces and new players that you're trying to blend together. But these guys are pulling for each other. They're playing like five guys that are one unit, and that's a good thing to see. You can see it in Julius Randle's body language. He's trying to make the right play. He's playing like a point forward, almost like LeBron James. He's not forcing the action. He's not playing selfishly. The message is getting sent to these guys, and they are playing with a ton of heart, a ton of passion, and they're playing really, really hard. It's fun to watch. It's good to see. That was a phenomenal win to pull off after a tough performance in Toronto.
I really liked what Julius said to Mike and Clyde, too, at the end there, where he said, we go into every game believing we can win. That might sound trite to a lot of people. Of course you want to believe you can win. But there's a big difference between wanting to win and believing you can win, where a lot of people on the outside don't feel like the Knicks have enough talent to win. They don't believe that. They believe they're the best prepared for every game. And they just saw the Pacers, and you see what a difference it is the second time around. And now that they knew what to look for, how Randle tried to take out and basically neutralize Sabonis, who dominated them early on. But defense, we haven't seen that kind of defense here in a very long time. Mike Woodson coached this kind of defense when he was head coach, and you probably have to go back at least 2 decades before you saw this kind of effort where you hold a team to 40% shooting, a team that's averaging 116 points a game to 102 points. They get some late baskets there, but the biggest one, 9 points off 4 turnovers in that fourth quarter. You said it best, Bill. Normally you have to match shot for shot late in games. This was about getting stops.
Knicks defense was just fantastic down the stretch. Give a lot of props to RJ Barrett. He was obviously a big pregame story given his shooting woes. Tell you what now, opening night in this gym at the Pacers, 26 points, made the threes, then goes 21 straight missing threes, and tonight Allen goes 4 of 5 from downtown and finishes with 25 points. Maybe he should play at Indiana all the time.
It must be, the field house might be a good place to shoot, but you can see he's getting, what he worked on this offseason, he's had to get back to that. And obviously the confidence then goes into his drives, and he had a lot of swagger going in this game. Once he saw those first few shots go in, puts the extra work in, and that's why you never worry about RJ Barrett, because he plays honest. He puts the work in. There's nothing guilty about his preparation for any kind of game. He just needed to get himself recalibrated, Bill. That's what it took. He put the time in, and the results are showing. Great stat line, including big free throws late in the game.
You know, Wally, he hit the 4 of 5 from downtown. Obviously, he hit his threes early. How important was that for him tonight?
Oh, it was huge. And I give him a lot of credit because he's doing everything else out there on the floor. Coach Thibodeau left him out there for 42 minutes. He can't take him off the floor because he's playing such good defense, and he creates a lot of things for his teammates, and that's a really good sign. Another thing I was really impressed was, guys, as you mentioned it, Alan, at the end of the game, he wanted the ball to make the clutch closing out the game free throws. That is big time for his confidence to make those big free throws down the stretch to ice the game. When you have him out there and you have a bunch of guys that can smell that victory and they know I'm just walking up to the line, I make my free throws, and we're going home with the sweet taste of a win, that is a big-time performance by him, especially with the way he struggled last year from the free throw line and the way he's been struggling shooting the ball. I give him a lot of credit. That took a lot onions, so to speak, to step up and make those free throws.
So a complete game from Randle, a great game from Barrett. And how about Quickley coming back and playing well? Rivers, 15 points off the bench. And also, we had a tremendous contribution from Elfrid Payton, starting point guard. And Clyde made the point, Mike Green during the broadcast, you got Quickley back. You wonder if that gives a little extra motivation to Payton. He's been playing really well. He was great tonight with 20 points.
Well, the one thing Tom Thibodeau has been talking about with his roster is that they have depth and they have options. And Elfrid Payton, if you remember at the start of the season, the first couple of games, he struggled and he knew he might be costing himself a job, and he had to get his game right as well, and he has ever since those first couple of games. Malcolm Brogdon had a great game with 33 points. There's no doubt about it. He was unconscious from three. But Payton made sure to at least try to balance it. Now, he can't match the threes, but he can get into the paint and score, and he was very aggressive early on. What we said at halftime continued in the second half. The Knicks had to make the Pacers play defense, put pressure on their defense, and that's exactly what Payton and the rest of the guards did. Quickley, Rivers, the backcourt, starting and reserves, were outstanding in this game, led by Elfrid Payton. And you see the shooting there, 8 of 17, the 5 assists, the 8 rebounds, all-around play. But it was really him, but it's trickled down. RJ in the backcourt as well, and then the two guys you mentioned. Very intriguing second unit now backcourt of Austin Rivers, who was really good in this game, and Immanuel Quickley as well, back from the injury.
It's interesting, Wally. Austin Rivers was on the court during crunch time.
Hey, he knows how to win basketball games in this league, and Tom Thibodeau is going to go with the guys he trusts at the end of the games. And he took out Reggie Bullock, and he put in Austin Rivers because he wants another guy who's a playmaker. You want a guy out there who can make plays. And Austin Rivers was absolutely tremendous. That big three he hit from the right hash mark was huge. That was the big shot for the Knicks down the stretch in the fourth quarter. He took advantage of whatever matchup he had. I thought he really complimented Quickley very well. I loved having those two guys on the floor together. I mentioned I thought Tom Thibodeau was going to like that lineup, putting two ball handlers out there on the floor despite not being super tall at the guard position. But that's good numbers, high percentage shooting, great decision making. That's the bottom line. When that second unit comes in, you know you're going to have good looks at the basket. You're going to get the ball in the right guy's hands.